and nearer than the air, the breath all around me. We're continuing our theme for the month, Living Everyday Wonder, Work. And our topic for today is creating a life that matters. Creating a life that matters. And before I get into the talk, there are a couple of acknowledgments that I would like to bring forward. And first of all, that is a big thank you and a big shout out to Reverend Cindy Harp and to Denise Kaku for stepping in and for Reverend Cindy for closing out our August topic, which was the wonder of nature, and for Denise for getting a jump start and laying the foundation for our September theme, which is wonder, living everyday wonder through work. My sincere gratitude for the amazing job that the two of you did. Last Monday, Labor Day. What was that significant of? It's the beginning of my third year as your senior minister. So a big time of celebration and gratitude for me for this tremendous opportunity to, as I wrote in my letter in the e-blast, I have the wonderful and amazing opportunity to actually co-minister with this amazing community of high consciousness individuals who know and practice the true essence that God is absolutely all that there is. Today marks the 21st anniversary of September 11th of 2001. And I saw this little poem on the internet, which I think describes, at least for me, some feelings that this conjures up for me. I happened to be working in San Francisco at the time that this occurred. And of course, the response on the coast was to, really go into shutdown and still not really know what we were doing. And so this kind of sparked some reminders for me. And the title is a list of don't forgets and a list of remembers. And it begins, we were 8. Before September the 11th, we would wake up with a list of don't forgets. Like, don't forget to wash your face. Don't forget to brush your teeth. Don't forget to do your homework. Don't forget to wear your jacket. Don't forget to clean your room. Don't forget to take a bath. Sounds like reminders that I would say to my daughters when they were growing up. And then after September the 11th, we wake up with a list of remembers. Remember to greet the sun each morning. Remember to enjoy every meal. Remember to thank your parents for their hard work. Remember to honor those who keep you safe. Remember to value each person you meet. Remember to respect others' beliefs. Now we are 9. And so as we remember this, we move into the overview for today's talk, which has to do with one's vocation. One's vocation is not something that is out there on the edge of the horizon between now and not yet. Vocation is divine energy already and always at work within us. It invites us to ask the question, how can I deepen into the wonder of vocation to create a life that matters? In our Centers of Spiritual Living Global Vision, we have the statement that we vision a world that works for everyone, and I add exactly where they are. If we look at vocation, if we look at the wonder of work, it's an invitation to create a life that matters. And when we are living from that place of a life that matters, then we can live in harmony, not only with ourselves, but we can live in harmony with those around us. This is our call. There are 2 quotes that I would like to offer to us this morning, and I've titled these Stop Searching. The first one is by Dan Millman from Way of the Peaceful Warrior. It doesn't matter what you do, only how well you do it. It doesn't matter what you do, only how well you do it. And then from inspirational teacher and meditation facilitator Light Watkins comes this. The answer to what's my purpose is found when you stop searching for it and start gently treating whatever is happening in your life at the moment as if it was what you were placed on earth to do. The answer to what's my purpose is found when we stop searching and gently turn to whatever is happening in our life at this moment, as if this is what we were placed on earth to do, and to be, I would add. It's what in front of us, it's what's right in front of us that we respond to that I believe adds to the quality and the overall well-being of our life. And so an expansion on the affirmative statement that was brought forward this morning by Bobby Hall from Parker Palmer, I offer another truism. Each day is an opportunity to embark on a personal journey to make meaning in the professional arena of life. Each day is an opportunity to embark on a personal journey to make meaning in the professional arena of life. Wonder is all that is needed to discover what is within each one of us in such a way that life invites us to pour ourselves out into the world over and over and over. And there are two questions that we might ask. Am I living the life I imagined? And if I'm not, or if you're not, how so? And what would make your life different if you were doing so? And then the other question is, how do I experience the call to have a meaningful life in my body, my mind, my heart, and my spirit? And I think this is the foundation of our Science of Mind teaching, this philosophy of spiritual principles. Ernest Holmes offers this in the Science of Mind textbook. He writes, we must cleave to the good and trust absolutely in the law of God to bring about any desired end. Spirit will mold our purpose when we allow it to do so. And as we learn to depend more and more upon the perfect law, we shall find that the outward things which are necessary to our good will be provided. It all begins within, trusting that the law of good, the law of God, will bring about any desires that we have, and that Spirit will mold our purpose when we allow it to do so. And I think this is where I know where I've gotten myself bogged down is I want to try and direct Spirit. It says, you know, it's like arguing with my GPS in the car. I have an idea of the direction that I want to go. And if the GPS is taking me in a different direction, I'll say, no, I don't want to go that way. And yet, what I've learned quite often the hard way is that if I follow the GPS, it takes me around an obstacle. When I don't follow it, I run smack dab into the obstacle, and there I am stuck. And it works the same way when we, as Ernest Holmes says, when we live in close contact with the indwelling Spirit, when we allow that still small voice that is within us to speak, this is where our purpose is revealed, and we move forward joyfully in doing our purpose. Three illustrations that I would like to offer to us this morning are the inward journey, the outward journey, and mind to do. Speak to me the inward journey. The Quakers have an expression, let your life speak. Frequently, our life says the very best parts of you are being, the very best parts of your being have somehow been set aside and gone unnoticed. Yet the inner journey reminds us there is an inner meaning to everything, an insight to every fact, a hidden cause within every visible effect. This cause is spirit. And this is from the book 365, Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. We identified vocation at the beginning of this topic as a divine energy already and always at work within us. The word vocation comes from the Latin vocare, a voice, listening to the voice of spirit that lies within and allowing its expression in us, through us, and as us. I'll share with you a little discovery of a vocare experience I had while in France. My first night in Paris, had a little challenge finding my way back to the hotel after I'd gone out for dinner. And, you know, it's often said that men don't like to ask for directions, even if we're lost. And I say, I'm not lost, I'm on a discovery mission. Well, I'll tell you, my first night in Paris, I was lost. The streets, for those of you who have been to Paris, the streets don't run in the logical manner that my brain is accustomed to. You know, when I first began working in San Francisco in an outside marketing position, one of my mentors said to me, if you find your way back to Market Street, you can find any spot in San Francisco that you want to go to. So I made it my determination to always have Market Street as my point of origin. Well, I didn't have a Market Street in France to refer to. And so the first night, I think I wound up walking about 2 hours or maybe more to find my hotel. But you know, I didn't get frustrated. I didn't get upset. And of course, asking for directions in France is another opportunity. It reminded me somewhat of growing up in the South. You ask for directions to someone in the South, and they'll say, oh, you go down to the light pole and you turn left, or you go to the stump in the road, or you go to the fork of the road and you go this way or that way. In France, they said, oh, you walk about 10 minutes straight ahead. Okay, well then what do I do after 10 minutes? Which direction do I go? And so eventually I did find my way back to the hotel. So the following morning I got up and went out. I was on my way to a museum and I noticed all of the things that I had walked by the previous night. They were right there. So I was walking around and around and around in a circle. And when I discovered that asking for directions and letting my life speak about making room for my soul were the messages that I needed in that moment. Marianne Williamson offers this: every instant the universe begins again. Every instant the universe begins again. Miracles happen. And the miracle for me was that I found my way back to the hotel and had a very comfortable and restful sleep. When our life speaks to us, from the perspective of an inward journey, it invites the truth to be known first in us, by us, through us. And then as the soul listens to the love, strength, and determination, and hope comes out of that. Our second illustration this morning is Speak to Me, the Outward Journey. Our vocation is an inward declaration of life and how we individually and collectively belong to this world. God is ever going forth into new expression, and every word that we speak, every thought we think, is a creative activity of God at the level of our expression. And this is from the practical application of the science of mind. When we decide to free ourselves from the image of impossible, our next step is to breathe into that space and declare, I'm possible. Let's say that together. I'm possible. I'm possible. Say it like you believe it. I'm possible. This declaration calls forward. Speak to me the truth that called me into being. Speak for me my name. Speak for me that which is extraordinary. Speak for me, and others may hear the call of their lives beckoning them beyond limitation, weaknesses, and mistakes. Speak for me the fullness of character, the passion, joy, and grace that paved a new way. This is where we allow the wonder that drew us into this moment to become the light for our paths and the bread for our journeys. It will continue to speak through us, speak to us and speak for us, and support us forever in all ways. And our third illustration this morning is speak new life. And this is what is mine to do. The call of vocation is to speak new life and to embody the wholeness of life itself. Vocation is the thing you must do once you recognize it. Henri Nouwen writes this: in a world so torn apart by rivalry, anger, and hatred, we have the privileged vocation to be living signs of a love that can bridge all divisions and heal all wounds. This is what I believe is our passion, and it is our calling, it is our mission in life. We have the spiritual tools that embody and empower us to do this. We are that bridge that heals divisions and heals wounds. Our spiritual practices allow the noises of the world to fade into the background, and the voice of our life is made known, revealed, and stands center stage in the spotlight of love. Living life as a vocation is a new life emerging from within the soul, rather than something that occurs in the recesses of the mind. And so in living this new life, in allowing the noise of the world to fade into the background, we can hear what is the message of our heart and the message of our soul, rather than the chatter of our mind. The integration of a work life and a life grounded in vocation align closely with the Buddhist concept of right livelihood, which encourages engagement in compassionate activity and work to make a living in a supportive and constructive way. And so in summary, as our true vocation begins to emerge, it weaves together the idea of self and the world of service and the work of service in the world. It is defined as a place where your deep gladness meets the world's deep need. That place where your deep gladness, where our deep gladness meets the world's deep need. It wisely begins with nature, with the nature of the human self, and the joy and meaning that arise within, rather than from what the world needs, which is everything. This is the beloved work of everyday wonder that points us toward our soul's journey, our profession, and a change that pours us into the world, embodied as life, as a life that matters. And so our personal application this week, and I've asked our tech team to pull up the slide, and I invite you to leave it up because I'll make some commentary. But our opportunity, our call this week to action is to take time to listen. Take time to listen. Today we allow ourselves to speak for us and to speak to us, pouring the marvelous light emerging as us into the world. There is no more separation or living a divided between one thing and another. As we take the time to listen, our lives speak for us. They speak words of purpose, intention, and wholeness, bringing us into the allness of who we are and who we have been called to be in the world. Now I invite us to say together our weekly affirmation. The work of my soul is creating a life that matters. Let us say this together. The work of my soul is creating a life that matters. Let us pray together. Rumi offers this to us. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. And so in the full awareness of the one life, the one power, the all-prevailing presence of spirit that is living and expressing itself through me, by me, and as me, and in all things, I pause and I listen. I listen with the inner ear. And as I listen with the inner ear, I am empowered to speak my word for compassion, for love, for right livelihood, for the revelation of vocation that allows me to show up in the world. And knowing this to be my truth, I affirm it as a truth for all. Knowing that as we listen deep within, there is a movement, there is an activity that is occurring. Something is stirring within to move us in the direction of our purpose and our goal. I speak my word of blessing for those places where people are gathering on their own individual journey of awakening, listening to the call of vocation from deep within their essence and their being, recognizing that there are many paths that lead to the one source. And that as each one expresses the truth and their understanding of the essence of spirit within, that there is a common unity, there is a compassion, there is a deep love that brings about the healing of the world, that brings about a healing of the divide, this artificial divide that has created a temporary separation between our awareness of the truth that we are all one in spirit. I speak a word of blessing this morning for those who are expressing a desire for right livelihood, however that may appear in life. I speak a word of blessing this morning for those whose hearts are heavy and dealing with life transitions, whether that be the transition of a loved one who's moved on to the next grand expression of life, those who are facing opportunities for right livelihood and employment, right housing, right and perfect choices, knowing that the answers lie within and that spirit is always providing. Even though it may not look like it in the moment, spirit is always providing. And so for this, and for this opportunity to be present right here and right now, I am eternally grateful. And if any of what I have said resonates with you, I invite you to affirm it with me as we say, and so it is. I take this opportunity to remind us that licensed practitioners and ministers are available to support us with prayer. So don't leave here with a problem. And also, can use this opportunity to celebrate a joyful experience in your life. We're here to support you, to love you, and to assist you in any way possible. Our contact information is in our newsletter and is also on our website. This is our time to express our abundance. It is our time to be a part of the flow of life. And one of those expressions of abundance this morning is our beautiful floral arrangement that is a gift from Amy Megan to our community this morning. So thank you, Amy, for this beautiful arrangement. I love how nature just creates everything in perfect formation. And even though I'm standing here and I'm looking at one of these roses, which is more elongated rather than round, it is still a perfect fit, a perfect nature. And so it is true about the ways abundance shows up in our lives. And I have a statement that I would like to share with you. And it responds to the question, what are the universal laws and how do we know they work with tithing? Since the beginning of time, certain universal truths were set in motion that provide a constant union and orderly method to the way the world works. These laws work in and around us, no matter what we do or what we think. This is the miracle of tithing. And this is from a little book of answers to questions about tithing by Mark Victor Hansen. And so as we share our abundance with our community and we share out into the world, I invite us to say together our affirmation of abundance. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And for those who are gathered here in the center, we have an abundance container on our welcoming table. And you're invited to drop your contributions into there. For those who are viewing us online, you may mail in your contributions, and our address is on the screen, 400 West Franklin Street, Monterey, California. You may text to give, that number is on our screen, and you may also donate to our website, through our website, montereycsl.org. And this is a secure website. And I want to continually just be in gratitude for the way that this community supports itself. And through your contributions, you are providing opportunities for us to reach out in the community to develop programs that expand the true principles and teachings of Science of Mind. And so this is our task, to bring this message out into the world. And through your generosity, through your very gracious generosity, we are allowed to do that. Just a couple of highlights while we still have our online family with us. Today, we remember 9/11, and in our newsletter, there is a statement about that. This Saturday at 11:30 a.m., this Saturday at 11:30 a.m., we will be celebrating the life of one of our longtime members, Lyle Young. The celebration will take place here at the center, and there will be a luncheon following the service. And we celebrate Reverend Ann, who is with us this morning. We love you. We appreciate you. We are in prayer with you and for you. And if you would like to send condolence to Reverend Ann, you may do so, and you can see me after service for her address. Also on next Sunday is our Soul Collage group meeting. And I want to make you aware of a time change. There is a new time for the Soul Collage meeting. It will begin at 12 noon rather than 2 o'clock. So the meeting will take place basically after service from 12 until 2. Denise, is that correct? Yes, from 12 until 2. And Denise, through her love and generosity, will prepare a light lunch for those who are planning to participate here at the center, and you may also participate online. The donation for the session is $35 or a love offering, and be assured that no one will be turned away for the lack of money. And then on the last Sunday this month is our spiritual living circle, which takes place immediately after service, using the articles from the Science of Mind magazine, and also the September edition of the Science of Mind magazine is available here in the sanctuary for a donation of $5. And for those of you who are viewing online, I encourage you to subscribe to the magazine. There are some very timely articles written by not only members of our community, but members of the New Thought movement throughout the world, along with daily affirmations. And the daily affirmations this month are very inspiring and stimulating, as they always are. And so to our virtual community, we say thank you for joining us this morning. We invite you to return next week, where we will continue our September themed work. And our topic will be living your dream. And so we say thank you, we love you, we appreciate you, and God bless you.